Hey everyone, I'm the Idea Maker, and today I want to give you guys my non-spoiler review on Superman. Oh man, this was a beautifully made movie, and I just barely woke up right now, and I'm floored with emotions because of the fact that um last night was an incredible night for me. It was one of my friend's birthdays, birthday weekends, and I we went to go see Superman in 40x 3D, and the experience was incredible. I said that F1 was going to be my favorite 40x experience. You know what? F1, move out of the way because Superman was just so good. Um, One of the best things about it, in my opinion, that I was not expecting from the 40x experience was I remember F1, like the seats jolted around, and they jolted like if you were on the racetrack. This one, the flight sequences were synced so well. The fight choreography, it jolted around like crazy. I thought I was on a very fast-paced roller coaster, which I don't like roller coasters, but this was the experience of a lifetime. This was like adrenaline rushing, insane, beautifully well shot, well choreographed movie. Like the experience on the 40X and um the 3D glasses, the 40X experience. This is the first time I literally felt like a DC movie was made for fans that they loved the comics and they loved the movies ever since that they grew up with it. I never really grew up with Superman much. I was more of a Marvel person. I started growing up with Christopher Reeve's version of Superman as a kid. Story about that was that I remember I wanted to watch Superman Returns back in 2006 or 2005, and I really wanted to see it. Like I really wanted to see it. I was too young for it. My family was very overprotective, and I saw a box set over at Costco when they used to have movies over there, and they had it of Christopher Reeve's Superman, and it was for all four of them. And I remember that I was about 10 years old, and my grandma and my mom said, "Yeah, you could see this, but you can only see it once at a time. You can't just replay it because the only superhero movie that I was able to watch at that time was Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer." And when I watched Superman for the first time, I remember I was just drawn to it. I remember I was so drawn to Superman, it wasn't even funny. And I remember loving Superman as a kid. And when I started watching other different versions of him later on down the road, I remember I was super excited when Man of Steel came out. And then the older that I got and I did see Man of Steel later in life, I thought this was too dark to be Superman. I thought this wasn't Superman. This was like a dark twisted dream. You know what? If there are Zack Snyder fans out there that they see this and they instantly start hating on this, then with all due respect, I really am not a Man of Steel fan. I'm not a fan of the the darker color palette and of the whole thing of DC being dark. I'm not a fan of it. But I gotta say, when I heard that James Gunn was gonna take over for DC, Him and Peter Safran were going to be co-CEOs of DC Studios, and I thought to myself, I think DC is going to be in the right hands. I honestly enjoyed some things from the Snyderverse, from that part of the DCEU. I mean, I enjoyed. Don't get me wrong, there were some movies I did enjoy. Some I enjoyed was Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, The Suicide Squad, Peacemaker Season 1. I really enjoyed them. I didn't really like Man of Steel, or Justice League, or even the Snyderverse cut, or the Snyder cut of Justice League, or Batman versus Superman. I haven't seen Black Adam or Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom or Shazam Fury of the Gods. Even I enjoyed Blue Beetle too. And I didn't really enjoy Wonder Woman 1984 much, but I enjoyed some projects of the DC universe. I actually forgot about the first Suicide Squad. I didn't really enjoy it that much, but I love the James Gunn version. I walked into this movie feeling like I was going to have just, okay, this was a good time. No. I had an extremely incredible time. I went all out with this one. I literally cosplayed as Clark Kent when I went to this movie. I had on my Superman shirt, my red flannel on to show both sides of Clark's humanity, and Clark Kent as a person that he's just a person that grew up on a Kansas farm in Smallville and became Superman. Honestly, this movie had so much emotion, and the central message of being human and your rights on being human were absolutely 100% there. And it especially had, and it had this beautiful moment of talking about how being human is not wrong, because that's all that we are, and we just gotta keep getting up and trying every single day to be better, to have more love and respect for people all over. And that's what we need right now as a community, as people. And this is just amazing. I just feel like critics, the ones who are saying that this is all over the place, I don't think that they grew up on superhero stuff. This was a very, very fast-paced movie. There's so much to take in. I feel like seeing this movie again, but I'm honestly going to wait until it hits HBO Max, because that I want to do a revisited reaction. And there were so many emotions that I was having during this movie to where I wanted to clap more. I wanted to scream an encouragement to Superman. I wanted to say things. This was something that I feel like I had so much to say. And I never really feel like that for a superhero movie. I felt more like I had something to say to Superman personally. And I know that Superman's just a character, but there was a lot of times where I felt like I wanted to thank him. I wanted to say thank you. This is a version of him I didn't think I was going to actually feel more connected to him than ever. I already love my Adventures of Superman. I already love Jack Quaid as voicing Clark Kent and Superman, and eagerly waiting for that to return. But David Cornsweet in this one, he is Superman. Like, it's like, you remember the tagline from the original 1978 version of of Superman with Christopher Reeve that it says, "You will believe a man can fly." This is exactly what I felt. I literally felt like I was a kid watching Superman for the first time, like a young kid watching Superman for the first time. And I thought to myself, this is literally an embodiment of Superman that I definitely need at this point. I've been so tired lately because I've sometimes felt like I haven't been enough in a lot of situations. And I have this relationship with God. And, ever since my grandmother passed away, and I've been trying my best on YouTube, and I've been trying my best with family and at my job, I just felt like there was something missing. Like, I felt like, you know, I just felt like I don't know. It's just like I felt like I've been putting trust in something more than usual because I'm just desperate on trying to feel like we're back to normal. And last night I got a little bit of that normalcy. I literally felt my ground through the whole entire thing because I thought to myself, seeing this version of Superman, I saw the things that my grandmother would say, the way how Superman would just fly right into harm's way through action and just wanting to help people. It really made me think of her so much. And there's some scenes in there that got me crying about 5 times. And I'm doing so again because I literally felt her throughout this whole entire thing. And the score from this movie made it even more impactful and emotional, and I just was amazed. This was amazing. So to composers John Murphy and David Fleming, you guys did incredible at integrating John Williams' original theme of Superman from 1978 and not rebooting it, but retooling it and making this beautiful drastic change to give this punch of impact to where you feel not only the music behind it, but you feel the honest truth and depth of Superman, because this was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I still am so surprised how every single part of this movie went. The real MVP out of this movie is definitely David Cornswood as Clark Kent, aka Superman. I just wish I want to thank him personally because of the fact that I'm going to say it directly right here. David, you literally are Superman. You literally are the Man of Steel. You are literally you're literally the man who was more powerful than a locomotive. The man who can jump to high heights in a single bound, and faster than a speeding bullet. I might have gotten it wrong, but the way you portray both Clark Kent and Superman, and I can tell that they're two different people. I can tell that they're two different worlds, and you play this character so well on trying to find that equal balance, in that when you start it's two separate people, and then by the time that it's over you still are, trying to figure it out, but you find this sense. And this is not going to be a spoiler part of it, because if this is realistically on who Superman is, you got Superman right. Superman is a person of respect, but not only respect, but trying to figure out life, and who Superman is, who people are, who your kind are, your people are, these brilliantly intelligent beings. And it's just incredible the way that you do so, that I remember just sitting there and just thinking, if people could have faith in Superman because of the good things that he can do, and everything that you stand for, and everything that Superman stands for is based on the Word of God, and you don't realize it because, there are those who are not going to think about the Word of God in something like this. But it made me want to even explore God's Word far, far more. Like, I was at this low point in my life right now, and I just felt like, I don't know. And then I was stressed out because there's so many different things going on right now. Work schedule wise, what has started being a little bit more rough. And then my mom has now her day job that I was so grateful to God for. And now she has 2 jobs again. And I'm trying to move stuff around to help her recover from surgery. And something kept nagging at me. And my mom solidified this when she was sending me this. She sent me this video earlier, and I didn't have time to do so, and I didn't have time to listen to it. And it was Jeremiah 29:11, and I'm gonna read it really quick as part of the review. It says here, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." Superman really literally made me remember to trust in God so much more. Because if a person can place their faith in somebody like Superman, like this powerful Kryptonian who fights for justice, for freedom and truth, then I can be able to trust in God more and truly feel His goodness. I already have, but I need improvement. And this made me want to trust in God more. And I know that this sounds kind of embarrassing when you put it in terms like this, but sometimes when you're feeling like you're down in the dumps, and there's times where you feel like things have not gone right, and you just need that little boost of encouragement, God will use anything to encourage you. And feeling my grandmother throughout this whole entire thing, it really made me do even more to strengthen my relationship with God and with family and with friends, because we need to have this beautiful act of kindness and this agape love towards one another, regardless of your race, your gender, your culture, your preferences in life, your ideas. I'm just amazed. Besides David Cornsel from playing a wonderful version of Superman that I really can understand and follow as the one of the best versions of Superman since Christopher Reeve, and I am placing him at the top. At the top. I'm placing him at the exact top. Some of the most best cast members added this movie. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. They did an incredible. She did an incredible job, and they as the casting and James Gunn did an incredible job finding the most brilliant Lois Lane since Margot Kidder, the original one from 1978. And I say original movie wise, but I know that there were other Superman serializations and movies beforehand, but everybody associates her as one of the original Lois Lanes. And she, Rachel Brosnahan played the part like this amazing reporter that she's very tough on the topics that she reports on, but she does this job where it really feels like it's her reporting, it's her doing her job as a journalist, doing her duty, and the feelings that she has for Clark, it doesn't feel fabricated. Her and David have this beautiful chemistry that it does not feel fabricated whatsoever. It feels great. It feels like it's genuine, that it's true, and that it doesn't feel like they've known each other for a small amount of time, but for years. One of the other ones, I'm gonna just give a good shout out to the rest of the team from the Daily Planet. Skylar Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen. He was hilarious. He was right where I felt like Jimmy Olsen was needed to be. Like, he had an important part in this movie that I'm like, you know what? Shout out to Jimmy, because he was definitely a person that I feel that he made a major contribution to helping them find the truth. And that goes for all the other ones there too. I mean, Wendell Pierce as Perry White was great. And I didn't even realize he was one of the Congress people in Thunderbolts. I didn't even realize it until later on. I'm like, why does the dude look familiar? And I probably might have remembered that he was in Thunderbolts, and I probably might have said it, but I was just so lost in this movie that it was so great. And then you had Beck Bennett as Steve Lombard, Michaela Hoover as Cat Grant, and Christopher McDonald as Ron Troop. I thought they were great. I wish that they would have given Ron more. They don't give him a lot of lines from what I remember. But the trio that they had was awesome. I thought Beck Bennett was great as Steve. He was funny. He was kind of like that, like a jockey bully, but he was, he had his soft, dumb moments that I just thought, what, Beck Bennett got it down right. Michaela Hoover as Cat Grant, I thought she was great too. It really felt like a comic book. There were so many great moments in this that I was like, no, this is great. I want to say a shout out to Pruitt Taylor Vince and Neva Howell playing Martha and Jonathan Kent, Clark's Earth parents. they felt like real parents, supportive parents that wanted the best for their son, even though that, just he came down and crash landed on Earth. And I really loved that aspect of Clark's home life. And they're not in it a lot, but you do feel their longing and their lasting words, especially with Pa Kent's words to Clark about your actions are the ones that you get to reflect on. They're the ones that are going to define you. And there's an interesting monologue that he says about parents. And it goes along something along the lines of that parents are the ones that, they provide the tools to the kids for them to mess up on their own. They're the ones who are helping to guide the kids and wanting to be there for them. So that way, when they mess up on their own, they can take the tools and the guidance and the wisdom that, parents teach their children, and remember, knowing that this is what they grew up on, this is who they are, this is how they were raised. But it's up to them on if they want to take this opportunity to learn from their mistakes and grow from it, or they just want to stay stubborn in the exact same place. And speaking about stubbornness, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor did an incredible job at me not liking him. He was ruthless. He was a villain. He had his intentions. And it might have felt like a comic book trope, but this is a comic book movie. And I just let every single expectation of what I was thinking go. I thought, I'm going to walk into this movie with no expectation. I just want to be surprised. I was genuinely surprised. I thought, Ultraman was great. They do reveal who Ultraman is. I'm not going to tell you who it is. That's part of the spoiler review. But the engineer, I thought the engineer was a great addition. Maria Gabriela De Faria was great as Angela Spica, aka the engineer. I thought she was great. I thought she was terrifying. I thought as a villain she was terrifying. I thought it was just insane. And I thought it was great to add Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr. Yesterday I finished up watching Creature Commandos right in time. Reactions to those will be up later on down the road, but it's going to be very difficult to censor a lot of this. I thought on here it was great to getting to, especially, let's backtrack this a little and go to the other metahumans or the other superheroes. My favorite one out of all of them is definitely Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific, honestly, was my favorite out of the characters introduced. I thought he was one of the most amazing supporting characters. Honestly, it wasn't even feeling like a supporting character. I felt like, all of them had their equal moments to show who they were. I mean, him, I thought Anthony Carrigan as Metamorpho, I thought he was awesome. I was like, I already kind of had an idea on who Metamorpho was. I thought Metamorpho was a villain, but he was incredible. He was fantastic as he was incredible. Like, as a character, as a hero, he ended up becoming a hero because of things that happen. And Metamorpho was a real person. I thought it was well done. I really, really felt like it. And I just really wanted to see more of both Metamorpho and Mr. Terrific. Now, Isabella Merced um as Hawkgirl, I thought she was amazing. I heard a reviewer that say that she was kind of underutilized. I think that she was. I think that she could have done more, but it didn't really hit me that much in thinking that she didn't do too much. I thought that she did what the amount that they gave her. She definitely had an important part to play, and I honestly wish that there was more of her in that movie. But you know what? I thought that she was great. And of course, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, aka Green Lantern. I thought for him being the jerk of the group and just this self-conceited, idiotic character. I thought that Guy Gardner in this one, I thought he was hilarious. I thought, oh great, it's like that one friend that we always have, and it just felt relatable. I thought that every single cast member in here was amazing. The fight choreography and the cinematography, especially in the third act, whew, that was insane. Insane. The camera movements, the environments, it felt genuine. It felt like you were there caught up in the action. They done some things with the camera that I was not expecting for them to do. And I was like, this is mind blowing. The CGI holds up. I didn't see anything wonky in it. I thought, you know what? They really put their heart and soul into Superman. And this makes me excited for the future of the DC universe. Of this DCU, it makes me so excited to see Supergirl, Peacemaker Season 2, Lanterns, these other shows and movies that we're getting. I'm excited to see how James Gunn's vision of the DC universe is going to be, how it's going to expand. I'm just so ready. James Gunn, if you do get to see this review, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for restoring, helping to restore some normalcy in my life after my grandmother passed away. My mom and I, when we went to go see this with friends, I felt like this normalcy that like my grandmother was there, and I have not felt that since anything. And this was an experience I will never forget. I definitely will see this movie again when it comes out on streaming, and I want to do a revisited reaction to Superman to give my non-spoiler review, because there's so much I want to talk about, but I want to give people the fair chance on seeing it first before going in and starting to spoil this movie, because this was incredible. When you see my revisited reaction to Superman, those will be my genuine reactions on how I felt during the whole entire movie, because it's going to make me feel like I can be able to fully get excited and get to cheer and to get upset and angry and cry and have these feelings, because this movie will not only make you believe that a man can fly, but it makes you feel like you got the emotions that you need in order for you to get everything out, because life is tough as it is. But it's like this is a movie that it lets you vent. It lets you search your inner feelings to where you just want to get them out. Like, you want to be there to show that this is what the movies are for. This is what the experience is for, to make you relate and to make you feel and to make you want this hunger for more relatable content in this world and more genuine people to create it with, more people who love the source material, who love the character and knows them, who knows who they are and knows them in a way that you just haven't seen in a while. So I do want to give those out. And of course, I almost forgot, Crypto is amazing. He is adorable. He is one of the cutest characters I've ever seen. I'm convinced to get a dog now like Crypto. I now want to get a dog like Crypto, and I think I will. I probably will. If I do, I will do a video on him. It's gonna be awesome. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I think that's it. I think that's it for the non-spoiler review. I went on for almost 40 minutes, but there's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. I want to do a couple of videos on Superman later on down the road, just because I feel like this is the most important movie of this year. And you know what? I hate to say this, but Marvel, Disney, you might have some major competition on your hands. So I pray to God that Fantastic Four First Steps is going to be as impactful and as big as Superman. I really, really hope so, because this was genuinely incredible. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching my review, my non-spoiler review to DC Studios' Superman, which you guys can see in theaters in all formats: 2D, 3D, IMAX, 4DX 3D, ScreenX. Do whatever format that you want, because this movie is going to it's going to make you feel and let you feel these beautiful emotions and make you feel like you are part of this story and this narrative that James Gunn is trying to tell. Sir, you did incredible. Once again, I am so grateful, and I hope that you get to see this review, and I hope that you can take this into consideration and be proud of the achievement that you've achieved. I really hope so. This was incredible. If you guys want to see more videos like this, then please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to keep notifications on, especially when I get my reaction to Superman out, or my revisited reaction to Superman out with my actual spoiler review for it. If you guys want to follow me on any of my social media, I've got Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, aka X, and my Discord on my Discord server. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you all. Stay safe. I will see you on the next videos, and please check out Superman. All right, bye guys.